Okay, I had a little coughing fit and I lost this whole slide, and so I have to start over. I don't know if it'll be as good as the one I was working on. So it's day 2, and the trip, to give you an idea with what we were thinking about doing the trip, it's, at least I was thinking. Quinn said, "Go ahead, whatever you're thinking," and I said, "Well, there are two possibilities. One, we would go from San Diego, we go to Joshua Tree, which is east, and go to the national park. Then we go north, maybe Yosemite, go to Bakersfield, which is halfway between uh, Joshua Tree and Yosemite, and then from Yosemite go to San Francisco, and then San Francisco we go south on the along the coast on Highway 1, which it goes right along the coast, which is supposed to be a really cool, beautiful scenic drive, and then go through LA, and then back to San Diego. The other possibility is go the other way. Go up the coast to San Francisco, across down to Bakersfield, and then to Joshua Tree, and then to San Diego. Now, what are the pros and cons of going either way? All right, my head is what determines which way we go is what I'm thinking about driving along the coast. Now, I've heard a lot of that. It can be fairly dangerous to drive along the coast on Highway 1 from Santa Barbara to San Francisco, because I guess there's very tight curves, and there's cliffs, and I'm afraid even to walk near anything like that. Okay, drive next to something like that, I'd be freaking out, and that it's just, the trip's not worth doing. So I asked Quinn, I go, "Do you mind doing that?" I'm gonna take a break because the phone is ringing. Get back to this. All right, kind of annoying. We never use that phone anyways. I don't know why we even have it. It should just be turned off. It's okay to have. It's just, when it rings, it usually rings for a whole minute. You gotta sit there and wait. And it rings every 10 seconds. Okay, anyways, I'm starting to sound as bad as that phone. All right, so what advantage is going either way? Well, like I said, I don't want to drive next to the cliffs. Okay, I don't mind driving actually on the other side of the road, that's up against the other side of the road, which you can kind of look over the cliffs and still have 20 feet between you and the cliffs. So, so I thought I'd rather go, and that happens going north. And so I thought, well, let's go north. Let's go to LA, all right, on first, and go that way. So that's counterclockwise versus the way, if we go on the other way, which went clockwise. So also the other thing is that on Tuesday night, as I was lying down and during one of the rests, I remembered that I have an old student that lives in L.A., Jeff Lehman. That's a production type guy for TV shows, and he's been out there for 20 years, I guess. And he's got a 10-year-old kid, and I really like Jeff. When he's in high school, he graduated in '97. He went out for track, and he went out for cross country, and it was fun to hang around with. And he did chemistry, and it was one of the students that it's good to keep contact with him. So he's a friend on Instagram and Facebook, and Jeff's also into archery, and I've been getting into it a little bit, and we've been shooting back and forth. Get it? Shooting back and forth, shoot. All right, and then so I get so I text him or message him on Facebook and say, "Hey Jeff, we're gonna be in LA." And he goes, "Oh, well, let's have lunch together." And so we set it up for a Japanese restaurant, ramen. Quinn loves Japanese. That's one of the other types of foods he wanted to see in California. He thought, California has all kinds of different food possibilities because of the peoples that are here in California. And he loves Japanese food, and one of the reasons is that all other Asian foods, Thai, Chinese, and so forth, they put peanuts in everything, and he's allergic to peanuts, um, so he found it that he likes Japanese, and he likes a little bit of the Japanese culture as well. Their illustrations and anime, and so forth, and so Jeff picked out this place called the Jinya Ramen, and it's in Burbank, which is just northwest of L.A. And so we head to get on the I-5, and we drive north, and it's about 2.5, 3 hour drive. I decided to make it go on the long side of it, 3 hours. If everything went right, we could do it in like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So given a little bit of buffer there for 3 hours was fine. So we get on the I-5, and it's overcast. We're going, where's the sun? It's supposed to be California, and it's about 60 degrees. It's okay. Nothing. It's nice actually. It doesn't have to be sunny to be nice. So we drive up the I-5, and I-5 is infamous for having its traffic jams. But we didn't have any, and we drove by Camp Pendleton, which was it's about a 30 mile stretch where there's no houses, which is the Army uses. And then we got into the metropolitan of L.A., and houses and businesses start popping up all over the place. And about this time, Quinn says he's really got to go to the bathroom. He's got to pee. Okay, and I said, well, all right, we'll try to go to a gas station or find something. And so we pull off, and it's in Anaheim. And this is where the baseball team is, the Angels, and we can't find anywhere to go. And I can't remember exactly where we went, maybe a gas station, but they didn't have anything open. I think most of what we've probably discovered is that bathrooms were, they said they were out of order, but probably they had them closed because of the pandemic. But we didn't really realize that until a few hours later. But so Quinn has to go really bad, and I see a porta john, and it's in the far end of the Anaheim Angels Stadium's parking lot. And I go, what? That looks like it's open, and it looks like no one's around. Why don't we just go there? And it looks like the gate's open. I don't see any reason why we can't just go. And so we drove over there. Quinn ran over there, went to the bathroom, and he was all set. Yay. Okay, jumped in the car, and we drove, and we got to Burbank about 11 o'clock. And it's 11 o'clock, and we find a place, and it's a little stretch of restaurants, and it looks like a nice little area, kind of upscale, not upscale, just nice restaurants. There's no fast food places. They're all, decent food places. And no diners. It's a step or two above diners. Okay, so we find a place, Jinya, and it's just opening. And there's outdoor seating, and find a seat. And I said, let's wait for Jeff. And about 2 minutes later, Jeff pulls up. He gets out of the car, and it's Jeff Lehman that I remember from 20 years ago. He doesn't look a lot different. Just a little bit more gray and a little bit more sure of himself. He's a 40-year-old now. Oh God, I can't believe that. They're right. So we sit there and we have lunch. I order a really nice. I can't remember what the food is. I'll look it up maybe and I'll make pictures of it, and this will have pictures on it. I'm not gonna put as part of the slideshow here, and hopefully you'll be listening to this. If you want, this is my way of putting it down. If anybody ever listens to it, that's fine. If anybody doesn't, that's fine as well. So we have a really good talk. We talked about the past and the present and the future. And before we know it, we've had our meal, and it's 1 o'clock. And Jeff looks at his phone and goes, "Oh my gosh, look at all the texts and emails I've got. I gotta go." And I said, "Okay, thanks, Jeff." And so off he flew, and then we got back to our car, and I go, "Okay, what do you want to do?" I go, "Let's maybe go to Beverly Hills." He goes, "I'd like to go to the beach." I go, "All right, well, let's go to Beverly Hills, maybe Rodeo Drive, to see where all the rich people live, and how they live." And so I put on the phone for Beverly Hills, and we start driving. And as you drive, you start to see all these expensive cars, Bentleys and Porsches and Maseratis and Lamborghinis and everything else in between and beyond. Okay, it's obviously that people are well-to-do out here, and it's expensive too. Okay, so whatever, I don't know. I don't know where Jeff lives. I can't remember, but he's got to be making to live where he is. He's got to be making $150,000 to $200,000, I imagine, just to live out here like normal people do. And if you listen to this, Jeff, and want to tell me what it really is, you can. But I'll just make these up. All right, so we do that, and then Quinn says, "I gotta go to the bathroom." I go, "Oh, what's going on?" He goes, "I have to take a dump." All right, and I go, "Oh, that's not good." He goes, "Yes, I gotta go really bad." And I go, "Okay." So we're driving through Beverly Hills, and we're looking for a toilet. And we surely can't go knock on Magic Johnson's door and say, "Hey, Magic, we're from Michigan too. Can we poop in your toilet?" I don't know where he lives, and that probably wouldn't happen anyways. And so we decided to go to gas stations. So like I said, every single gas station we went to said it was out of order. And then I said, "Oh, I hope you don't explode, Quinn." And he goes, "Yeah, well, just make sure you don't hit a lot of bumps." Okay, because I think that's what's not helping. And so we drive, and I go, "Well, let's go to the beach. Maybe there'll be something at the beach." And so he wanted to go to Venice Beach because Jeff told us about. I said, "Jeff, what beaches are good to go to?" And he said, "Well, there's 3 levels. All right, there's Venice Beach, where it's hippies and other type people, and skateboarders, and then there's, I forget the second level, and then the third level is Malibu, where all the rich people hang out." And Quinn thought, "Well, let's go to Venice Beach, because I've heard about it, Muscle Beach, and all the skateboarders, and it's a famous one." So it's overcast, and it's a Thursday, and probably not going to be too populated. But we drive down there, and there's like a bathroom house, okay, where doors for bathrooms. I go, "Here we go, let's go in." So we park right next to it, so Quinn could go do his job, and then after that we could take a walk. All right, and then so he jumps out, he runs into one of the bathrooms, closes the door, and then I'm standing outside, and I'm just sitting there waiting. And it seems like 5 minutes, 10 minutes before he finally comes out, and he goes, "That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. There's poop everywhere. Somebody pooped on the floor." And I go, "Oh boy, that's nice to hear." He goes, "Yeah, right. I need to wash my feet. All right, my shoes." Okay, so we got that situation taken care of. No more poop, and and we walked, took a walk along the beach, and yeah, it's kind of a bizarre place. It's a place. There's a I guess there's a walkway where there's little uh, selling joints where people sell stuff, and kiosk, I guess, and then and this is about, and the beach is really huge. The beach is about from where the shops are to the ocean is a third of them. No, I don't know, 1,000 yards. Okay, I mean it's really long, big distance. So you have to walk quite a bit from the parking lot and the walkway to the beach. But so we walk a little bit along the walkway, and there are just hundreds of tents of homeless people, and it's sad. But you can tell that they have a way of life, and they somehow sustain themselves, and it's good, I guess. I mean, at least they have a place to stay, and uh, it's all along that walkway, and then the shops, they're selling shirts and all kinds of stuff. We take a walk out on the beach and step into the ocean. It's pretty cold. We already did that the day before La Jolla. Um, Quinn says it's not as cold as Lake Superior, but I may disagree with him. It was cold. And so we walked on the beach, and I don't know, about a half mile or so, and then, or maybe longer, and then walked up, and we walked by skateboard park. Saw people doing some pretty fancy tricks. I think, as far as I'm concerned, they look fancy. And eventually, we had enough, and we decided to walk back to the car. We walked back to the car. I go, "What do you think?" He goes, "Well, I think I want to leave LA. It just seems too big, and it's just too much stuff going on. So I don't mind if we move on." Because I was thinking maybe what we would do is we would get a hotel in LA and stay in the area and stay the night and do more beach stuff. But it was the weather doesn't look promising, and um, so there was no problem about driving on. So I decided, okay, let's do this. Just drive, and let's drive another hour or so, and make a stop. So we left the Venice Beach about 4 o'clock, I think, and so we drove north along the coast, and I decided I wanted to get kind of close to Santa Barbara, because I was thinking I would like to take that drive along the coast, like it was said on Route One the next day, so we can get up to San Francisco and do a scenic trip on the way up, and that's what I was planning for day 3. So I looked for places in Santa Barbara, and I couldn't find anything to my liking, and that was kind of far away, as far as I'm concerned. So maybe too far for my driving, and just like I said, I don't really have any plans. I just kind of look at my phone, kind of look for a place that's wherever close I want to go to, we want to go to, and I look for prices, and I look kind of like price that may have a lower price but still quality. And so I found this place in this town called Carpinteria, and which was south of Santa Barbara by some 20 miles or so, and north of Malibu by I think an hour. And so it's about an hour and a half drive up to it. It's a place called Sandyland Reef Inn. Okay. And so we drive up, and I can't remember. It was fairly. I mean, it's all along the shore, and you could see people surfing, and you're going through Malibu, and briefly you could see how rich it is, and the rich people live and things like that. But again, the weather's not great for just hanging out on the beaches, so we just kind of drove through and headed up, and we got there around 7 o'clock, I think. Kind of looks like it. No, I'm sorry. Yes, it's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. We get up there, we get situated, and it's your motels. You know, the ones where you pull up, and you have rooms right up where you pull up, and it's painted yellow, and the doors are painted different colors, and it's kind of has this Mexican sort of flair look to it. It's hard to tell the clientele. I saw some people that look like they might have been hookers, but there are other people that look like just regular families. Couldn't tell exactly what's going on. The people at the desk were nice, so I thought, okay, well, let's stay the night. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, the first night, La Jolla's hotel, the showers were, turn them on, and they would get nice, warm showers, and all of a sudden they would go cold. Okay, and you didn't hear any toilets flushing, but I'm sure that's what it was. And then they'd get warmer again. So we're hoping that we could get a regular warm shower here tonight. Okay, so we got there, settled in, and so we decided to look for dinner. You know, it's our thing. So we look up and we find out the town. It's about a mile away. And Quinn says, "Hey, there's a sushi place. Let's go there." And so he said we could walk to it. And I said, I looked at the direction. I go, didn't look that good to me because the roads looked like they might have been a little busy. So I said, let's drive. And so we drive into the town of Carpinteria. And it's a nice little town. Down a few blocks. And it had all kinds of different restaurants. I mean, it's pretty amazing the different kinds of restaurants they had. And this restaurant that we picked was it was a sushi place, bar, but it could have been just your regular restaurant. There was nothing. It didn't look Japanese, all right. But we sat down. We had sushi, and it was really good. Definitely like sushi. All right, and then we walked around the town a little bit, and then there was a restaurant. A grocery store, and I said, "Hey, Quinn, let's get some beer." And so went in, and I bought a 6-pack of kind of beer I wanted, and Quinn bought a 6-pack of the Dark Modella, and that, that's pretty much our beer for the week. I'll end up getting another 6-pack along the way, but I just have a couple beers a night, and that's it. And so what did I get? Okay, I guess Elysian, okay, beer, and I think it's called Space Dust or something like that. Okay, so I got that, and we drove back to the hotel. Again, it's like 9 o'clock, and we're asleep. Getting ready for day 3, and day 3 is heading to San Francisco.